And she was like, that's the guy that shot at us.
I need you to say that again. What do you mean someone shot at the building?
Yeah, I could tell, there's no question the gentleman needed help.
Tonight, stories you haven't heard about the gunfire inside of the Fox 13 studios. It's been just over a week since a man shot into our lobby, causing a standoff that shut down the Highland Strip.
And we've spent the past several days examining what happened that day. First and foremost, we're grateful no one was hurt.
But tonight, we share with you what went on behind the scenes, what you didn't see on TV, so that others may learn from what went right and what went wrong when facing a gunman. This was the Highland Strip Tuesday, May 2nd. The day started like any other Tuesday. In the Fox 13 parking lot, a man climbs out of an SUV. A chain in one hand, a rifle in the other. He limps to the front door of Fox 13. He demands to be let in. Then he opens fire. The bullet rips through the ballistic glass in the front door, ricochets off the floor and hits the lobby desk.
I heard a boom, and I think that was the bullet initially going through the window and then hitting the desk. And then I hear a rattling like for about 5 or 10 seconds. And I believe that's, if you look at the video, I believe that's when he's trying to shake the door open and trying to kick the glass through.
You can see him try to lock himself in the vestibule using a chain he brought. When that doesn't work, he heads back outside. Out of camera view, the gunman hides the rifle in his pants, then calls out to Fox 13 production manager Ron Crawford.
I went back to my truck to grab something, I can't even remember what it is, and I hear a guy cursing and yelling at the top of his lungs. And I'm like, sir, what's going on? What's the matter? Why are we so agitated? And he's like, no one in there will listen to me. I said, well, I'm listening.
At this point, Ron has no idea about the gunfire.
As we're talking, he's a little more animated and throws his hands up, and I see he has a weapon tucked into his pants. I said, sir, you can't have that on the property. If you can get rid of that, I can listen to you. He says, okay, man, you sure? You promise you're going to listen to me?
Ron directs the gunman back to the lobby. While that's happening, General Manager Kyle Krebs is alerted to the gunfire.
So I was in a meeting with a couple of the managers, and so we got the word and ran downstairs.
As I'm walking into the back door, Kyle rushes out of the back door, and he says, we got an active shooter. I said, whoa. Well, I just talked to a guy, and I told him to meet me at the front door. So Kyle and I walked up to the front.
And Ron started talking to the gentleman and just started asking him questions. What do you want? And the guy said, I want to get on the news.
He said, hey man, I'm sorry. I had nowhere to put it. I didn't drive. I got dropped off. I had nowhere to put it. I said, what, you had nowhere to put what? He said, I still got it. But I'll take the magazine out and I'll give it to you. You put it in your car. Because I've got to get the story out. I'm like, wait a second. I can't take your weapon.
And Ron said, that we're not going to do it like this. This is not how it's going to work. But he tried to de-escalate because he's a man of faith, and he was the right man at the right time.
More of our employees came through our door going into the newsroom, and that started. He said, "Oh God!" And he grabbed his gun up off the ground, and he ran out the door.
The gunman walked away, heading south in Highland, still armed. Memphis police are on the way.
And then a couple minutes later, Randy, the news director, comes walking, let me say fast-pacing, through the newsroom, basically saying someone's just shot at the building, we're on lockdown. And I think at that moment, I couldn't really believe it. I was just like, I need you to say that again. What do you mean someone shot at the building?
News of the lockdown spreads throughout the building while Fox 13 News Midday is still on the air.
We had some individuals that started to, show real emotion. Had a young lady to be at a point almost of hyperventilating.
With the staff safe, General Manager Kyle Krebs heads back out to the Highland Strip to look for the gunman.
My biggest fear was he would get somebody in the parking lot, and who didn't know.
Memphis police pour into the area, searching for what they believe is an active shooter.
got an active shooter possibly.
And there was a lot of confusion, obviously, trying to figure out where he was. And ironically, he live streamed where he was at UB's. And so they were able to isolate that area.
Is y'all gonna let me talk? Yes, sir. I need to talk to the news people. I need a camera. I need a camera in here now.
The suspect is just a few hundred feet from Fox 13, inside the bathroom at UB's, just 2 doors down.
Y'all look at this. Look at this. Look. Look. I don't get no price for it.
While officers try to get him to come out, they evacuate Highland Strip businesses, including Fox 13. Dozens of employees are ordered out.
It was weird. It was weird not being able to go get the information, like being stuck in one spot, because in that moment, like my reporter hat was turned on. You know, I wanted to be at the scene, not inside of the scene. You know, I wanted to talk to people around what was going on. I wanted to see what was going on at UB's, but we couldn't.
And about 2 hours after the first shot was fired, the suspect surrenders.
So it was a very stressful morning for everybody, and luckily it all turned out well, and you know, he's going to get the help he needs, it sounds like, hopefully.
With everyone safe and the threat over, it is time for reflection on lessons learned.
So one of the lessons we're learning and is, you know, have as many backup systems as possible in that scenario, because you can't prepare for every situation, but you need to prepare for what happened if that was breached. Then we, you know, what if he got to the glass and before any of us were alerted, how much more damage could have been done.
I shared with someone literally today that when he offered to give me the gun, I wish I would have taken it. And I say that because I really wish he could have been apprehended in the doorway.
It's still terrifying now, just kind of thinking back and realizing how close I was to the situation. You know, I have family, I have loved ones, you know, I'm getting married in a year. Those are things that I'd like to see happen. And you don't ever think about yourself being in that situation. You know, we report on it all the time, but we don't ever think about how we could end up in that situation too, no matter where we are.
And I think tonight all we can say is thank goodness for Ron Crawford.
Absolutely.
Because his level-headedness and the way he handled that situation. I mean, I've been in situations similar to that. You've been in dangerous situations before during your career, but you know, our younger staff members have not. And Ron's level-headedness was able to really mitigate what could have been something much worse.
Right. You know,
and the MPD, thank you for what you did.
You know, we were on the way to the station because this was happening shortly before our scheduled time to be here. And the only thing I could think of was I was praying that no one was hurt, but I was also really concerned with how everyone in the building was doing at this point, because it was such a scary situation and you just didn't know. So just happy that it ended the way that it did and everybody's okay.
Absolute truth.